In Tennessee, or the criminal justice system in Tennessee, and we're fortunate to have with us Justice ABirch of the Tennessee Supreme Court. And of course, Justice Birch, before we had our first commercial break, we were talking about some aspects of the criminal justice system in the state of Tennessee. Let's be a little more specific and have you to give us some of the initiatives that the Tennessee Supreme Court is making in order to improve the delivery of justice to the people of Tennessee. What are some of the things that we're doing?
Sure, I'll be happy to discuss a few of them with you. As you know, when I was Chief Justice, we recommended that the legislature fund the federal, or fund our part of the Federal Anti-Terrorism and Safe Streets Act, which provides money for more policemen on the street, provides money for paying lawyers to represent persons charged with capital offenses, to pay them at a rate commensurate with a better quality of job, quality of
defense.
Defense, that's right. Because that's where we usually run into a problem, is that often lawyers may not be well prepared, or for some reason or another are not really specifically trained in the defense of capital cases. We think that if we improve the representation, the quality of the representation at that level, then we won't have all these cases coming back.
Appeals, very,
Yes, that's one thing. And we have a, I told you about Scale, Supreme Court assisting legal education in students.
Talk about that.
Yes, we've been, I think, to 15 or 16 different areas in the state, holding court, and on each occasion we have approximately 600 or 700 total students who see an actual Supreme Court case from start to finish. They're briefed before the case. Their teachers tell them all about the case. They have educational lessons about the case, and after the case they get to talk to the lawyers and ask questions, and it really has proven to be a very, very popular program, and one that we have a lot of counties who want it very badly. We've been all over the state, Bristol, we've been to Memphis, we've been to Brownsville, we've been to Murfreesboro, we've been to Greenville, we've been to Oak Ridge, Jackson. We've been a lot of places, and I think we're going to Savannah and Memphis next, I believe.
Now, these are all docket cases in a real sense that were presented in another forum at another place. Is that what?
Actual cases, we have the permission of the lawyer to come to a place not in the Supreme Court building.
Okay.
And we hold them at a school or university or some setting like that. We have a portable bench which we take with us, and we have our robes on, and it's, for all intents and purposes, exactly like it would be were it in the Supreme Court building.
And of course, the verdict and all of those things associated with it, and all are judicial kinds of Supreme Court kinds of things. Is that?
Exactly. Of course, there's no verdict. There's an opinion that comes a month or two later. But yes, it's a real case, and it's carried out just as it would have been were it in the Supreme Court building. Now, did you know we have 3 Supreme Court buildings in this state?
I'm familiar only with one Supreme Court building, and that's the Supreme Court building on 7th. I think it's on 7th.
7th and Charlotte.
7th and Charlotte.
We have 3, and the Constitution says that we should sit in those 3.
All 3. What? One for each?
In Knoxville and one in Jackson.
Now, how is it that very few people recognize that? Now, have you been sitting in all 3 of those places?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And so that has been sort of your circuit.
That's right. That's right.
Very good. And of course, Judge, you know, one of the things I think that people like to talk about when they deal with the various kinds of programs that you have are the efforts to bring in more minorities into the system. Can you give us any information as to what the Supreme Court might be doing in terms of its philosophy?
Surely, I'd be happy to. As you know, the Supreme Court is an equal opportunity employer, without question and without doubt. We, first of all, implemented a racial and gender commission, appointed people to study, to determine whether there appeared to be any discrimination or bias within the system. That commission made its report, and we have appointed an implementation commission to implement the recommendations made so that we can try to eliminate bias and discrimination on a racial basis or gender or religious basis. There's no place for it in any system. And when we see it, when we find it, we try to eradicate it. We have included many Afro-Americans in the things we do. For example, do you know that we have what's known as a board of professional responsibility? That board has the obligation to monitor and enforce the rules of ethics to which lawyers are bound. In other words, if there's some problem with the lawyer, then the Board of Professional Responsibility handles that. Well, I want you to know that the vice chairman of that Board of Responsibility is a local person whom I'm sure you know. A very talented person, Dr. McDonald Williams.
Oh, yes, know him quite well.
And not only is he the vice chairman, but he was one of the first lay persons appointed to the Board of Professional Responsibility. It was our feeling that lawyers judging lawyers didn't give the appearance at all times of being a fair thing. But we have 3 lay persons on the board now, and Dr. McDonald Williams is the vice chairman of the board.
And so in all of your boards and all of your commissions, you're reaching out through the entire community, dealing with...
We draw persons from every single aspect of our diversified state. And also, we try our very best to diversify our staff, law clerks and clerks and other staff persons.
You know, that was one of the controversies quite recently dealing with the Supreme Court, dealing with law clerks and whatnot.
I'm aware of that.
And so we're trying to, in a real sense, nip that kind of controversy in the bud on the state level here in Tennessee.
I don't think you'll find a problem here.
Very good. And of course, Judge, we're getting ready to come to the second commercial break within 20 seconds, and then we'll come back and we'll have about 6 minutes to talk about some of the other things that you believe the people of the state of Tennessee ought to know about the judicial system, the criminal justice system in the state of Tennessee. And we'll be back with you following this short commercial break. The topic is the criminal justice